All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are set for our next speaker. He's going to be talking about creating personalized shopping experiences through advanced search and merchandising. Thomas Turley is Searchspring's Director of Partnerships, and he's an experienced sales and partnerships professional with over 5 years in e-commerce space. And if you don't already know, that Searchspring is one of our proud sponsors this year of EEE Miami that enables merchants with powerful features like e-commerce site search that understands what your shoppers are looking for. It is my pleasure to introduce Thomas Turley of Searchspring.
Thank you. And no thanks to whoever put that photo of me up on the screen. That's very kind of you. How's everyone doing today? Everybody good? You can hear me? If you can't hear me, put your hand up. No? Good. All right. As mentioned, my name is Tom Turley. I'm the Director of Partnerships here at Searchspring. And today I'm going to walk you through how you can create personalized shopping experiences through advanced search and through merchandising. Again, this screen is kind of, let me know if you need me to move either way. But why we're here today, over the next 20 minutes or so, I've got 87 of the most concise slides you'll ever see. It's really good. And basically, I'll give you a background on who Searchspring is, what we do, who our customers are, give you some reflections on 2021. I know you don't want to reflect on 2021, but we'll reflect on 2021. We'll also look at the predictions for 2022 and what that means for site experience, for e-commerce, maybe a bit of life lessons as well, and then go through 3 of the top tips that we have at Searchspring for creating those personalized experiences. Hopefully give you some time at the end to ask some questions. So what is Searchspring? And here is when I'm going to end up like around here. Basically, Searchspring is enabling your e-commerce store to deliver the right product at the right place at the right time. And realistically, at this point, to the right person. Everybody's got different intents on the store. Everybody has different ways of getting to products. It's difficult to find product on site a lot of the time. There's various channels that you need to go through to get it. Obviously, if you couldn't guess by the name, the core of the product came from search, but it now is very much across the site discovery in general, whether it's through categories and collections, whether it's through recommendations widgets, personalized segmentation, merchandising, and just generally giving you more insights as to how people are browsing your site and how they get to the products that they want to. So that's generally a background on Searchspring and what we do. Why we're here today, like I said, every year we do a survey with customers, partners, brands, any expert or anybody that wants to talk to us, I guess, as to how to differentiate their brand in e-commerce. And last year was very much the brand. The brand was what was the differentiator. It's what everybody was looking to differentiate by. And it was the standout kind of part of it. However, things have changed, obviously, very quickly over the last few years. And this year, we asked again, what is the key way that you're going to differentiate as a brand on e-commerce? And there's a couple of major points here. Number one is personalization has just shot way up to being the number one differentiator for most people. The way that they see themselves as differentiating their brand, sorry, I keep forgetting that it's behind me, is through the personalization on their site. Now, what personalization means to you, what personalization means to your customer, to your brand, could be a lot of things. Personalization is a very ambiguous term. I'll give you some info of what we see personalization as later on. The other one is the shopping experience. That has almost doubled in priority for brands over the last year. Experience has become the new brand now. The way you differentiate, the way you become recognizable as a brand is your experience. I mean, you heard Christina talk about great customer experience. Those type of things is how you build those customer experiences. You differentiate your brand, you differentiate yourself in the e-commerce world. Okay, so 3 top tips, or expert tips. I'm the expert. So first and foremost is always be relevant. By show of hands, how many people have been playing Wordle or have been into Wordle the last few months? Okay, anybody good at it? Liars. There's one type of person that doesn't want to play Wordle, and it's somebody on your site. Nobody wants to try and guess what your products are called. Nobody wants to try and figure where everything is. They don't want a multiple attempt. Search really lives and dies with the first search. Get them there, get them to it quickly on the first page of results. Get them it. Just get them there. Be relevant. Where that starts, unfortunately, is very boring. It starts with product data. I know it's the bane of everybody's existence. Nobody likes it. It's mundane, but it's very important. Your product data is a lot more than your product titles and your tags, which is where a lot of native search functionality is probably letting you down. Your customers don't necessarily, if they're new, know what you're calling products. They don't know the nomenclature that you give for products. They don't know the color families that you associate to products. So there's a lot more rich data within your products that need to be accessible through the search, whether that's based on attribution, whether that's based on style, season, all those types of information is really rich data, and you need to be able to reference that quickly and make sure that you're getting products to people that are relevant to them and create that smooth and engaging product discovery experience. How do you then take that keyword base and make sure when they search for what they search for, they're getting it? Is then you start applying product awareness. Don't know why I did that. And to do that, product awareness applies more of a human element, a natural language element to the search. It's starting to understand the nuances of how people are searching, what they're looking for, and why they're looking for it. It's all well and good if somebody searches for red Nike running shoes that you bring them back red Nike running shoes. However, people aren't always going to search for that. They might be searching for certain attribution. They might be looking for a specific type of product. An example we always give is let's say a dress shirt. If you're looking for a dress shirt, or if you're looking for a shirt dress, exact same keyword. If you search on most search platforms, you're going to get a mix of button-up shirts. You're also going to get a mix of dresses. Very different style, very different way to look if you're going to dress like that. And understanding those nuances, whether it's through cadence, whether it's through filler words, whether it's through emotional language that people are using through the search, is helping to find those products using product awareness, and it's really important to do so. You can also think of things like a dresser mirror compared to a dresser with a mirror. If you're looking for a dresser mirror, you don't want a full-blown dresser unit. You're not looking for a big piece of furniture. You're just looking for the mirror part of it. Those are where product awareness comes in, understanding those nuances and those natural language portions of how people are searching and still making sure you're getting to the right product. Once you get them to the right product is now where you get a little more interesting and where you can start capturing really high engagement touches through machine learning. So Searchspring, we track all sorts of stuff through search of how people are searching, how they're interacting with products, where they're interacting with products, and really helping you elevate high engagement products. So once we get people to those right products, again, like I said, search lives and dies on the first page. If your best-selling product, your most likely item to be converted, is stuck on the second page, guess what? You've lost probably the chance of converting them pretty high. So that machine learning helps you elevate those high engagement products and automate your store's behavior. While in theory, you as a store owner or as an expert in your product would be able to recommend the exact perfect t-shirt for the exact person that is asking for it, it's not possible in an e-commerce store without machine learning, without understanding how people are searching and how they're looking for things, and understanding how using that product awareness within the machine learning is where the trick comes. If somebody is looking for a trendy t-shirt, because trendy people search for trendy products apparently, you don't want to show them the product that's really, really popular when people are looking for comfortable clothing. And understanding those nuances of how people are searching and then the behavior behind each interaction is really where the product, the machine learning differentiates itself. So that's the always be relevant portion. The next part is then kind of a snowball effect of how you then leverage those engagement points across the site. Product discovery, like I said, has become a lot more than just search on the site now. It is people interacting with PDP pages, home pages, even if you're lucky enough to have account pages and things like that, being able to engage and really personalize yourself to your customers through them. So our tips and tricks really for personalized recommendations is to leverage what you have in terms of insights, understand how people are shopping, what they're shopping for, where they're shopping for it, and utilize multiple types of profile across the area. What works on your homepage isn't going to work on your PDP, isn't going to work on an account page. On a home page, you're more likely to have someone that's brand new to the site. They may be a returning customer. So it's better to show them stuff that they may have previously searched for. It might be your high-selling categories, your best-selling products, something to make the page really sticky and kind of get them engaged with the site. However, they may have been on the site for a while, spent a few hours browsing, added a couple of items to the cart, and are looking to check out. When you get to that checkout, you want to be personalized and provide relevant items to them that will make sense with their cart without being pushy and getting them away from the cart either. There's a fine balance to all of this, and leveraging all of these different types of profiles is really where you're going to separate across the site. And like I said, generally with personalization, it's a step-by-step. As much as I'd like to tell you there's a magic bullet that will get you to personalization right away, it's one step ahead of another and getting you to that. And that's where, again, you need to continuously be tracking these insights of behavior, these engagements, what people are shopping for, understanding it. Getting personalized data is becoming increasingly more difficult off of your own website. So any of that personalized data, that engagement you can track and leverage is going to really help you stand out and make sure that people are returning to your site, making sure that they're leveraging your site and that they are experiencing your brand properly. And again, generally, you want to create automations with recommendations. Recommendations are your virtual store assistants. They are meant to operate the same way that you'd expect as a brick and mortar store to make sure they're making the right suggestion to the right person at the right time. It's not physically possible to sit there at a computer all day, write custom scripts, or put hand-curated recommendations out there for every single person. So being able to leverage all of those insights and those engagement pieces of data is really where you're going to be able to automate that and then fine-tune it with your knowledge of what your customers are, what your store is, what you're hoping it to be, adding your business kind of logic to it as well. Just to give you, I'll go this side so you can read it, just to give you insight as to kind of how best to do it. We've got plenty of good customers. You're going to hear from BHFO later on as well, who leverage Searchspring in a myriad of ways, but the real way for you to stand out in e-commerce is personalization. Making sure that journey is personalized, making sure that you're engaging with every single customer that comes on your site and giving them a reason to come back and to keep shopping with you. We'll be at the booth all day, or maybe not all day, but most of it. If you want to read some of the case studies, talk about customers that have done it in whatever industry, we have a wealth of knowledge there. And then finally, this is really where my part comes in. It takes an ecosystem. Like I said earlier, there is no one magic bullet for personalization. There's no one magic solution for everything. It takes an ecosystem within e-commerce, and finding that right mix for you is always going to be difficult, but this is where you need to leverage events like this, leverage people with partner networks and integrations and things like that. So people like Absolute Web are great because they have robust networks of partners and experience with various industries and understand what they're doing, and making sure that they're customizing that experience to what you want to do. As much as you're trying to personalize your store to your customers, you need to customize your store to you as well, to you as a team, to you as your resources, to you as what you're trying to do as a brand, and really understand what you're trying to do as a brand before you create these personalized experiences, and make sure that you're finding the right mix of integrations for you and your customers. And then what we've seen a lot of and what we will see a lot more of in the future was traditionally very much in the realm of enterprise e-commerce, but is very quickly coming downstream, and that's the rise of headless technologies, making sure that you have integrations that are able to tie in outside of just your given e-commerce front end, whether that be through mobile touch points, whether that be through in-store touch points, making sure that that personalization is omnipresent, making sure that it is everywhere and that you're engaging with your customers wherever you can, utilizing APIs and microservices and using them properly, making sure you're finding the solutions that talk to each other, that can leverage each other to make sure that you're creating that personalized journey. And that's all, folks. I believe we're doing okay for time. If there's any questions from the floor, I'll answer them. No? Good. Oh, there's one there.
Have you found any successful ways to convince customers on site to allow for tracking so that they can access more personalization?
Yeah, so it's one of those topics. Customers are becoming more and more aware of what is being tracked of them, especially off-site, and what they're giving away in terms of personal information. And that's where we're really finding that being able to leverage things that aren't truly like invasively personal, but still very good to give you information on how people are going to behave and how they're going to engage on the site. So things like product engagements and understanding shopper journeys, rather than like directly asking them, what do you like and why do you like this, and pulling the data out that they don't know. And it's, like I said, it's becoming increasingly more difficult. So those type of trackings and tracking the engagement and reacting to those, and then also having like a human hand on top of how that tracking works. You don't want it to be a black box. Personalization should never be a black box. It shouldn't just be a case of, well, we're going to personalize it, and it's going to be personalized to you, and you're just going to trust us. You need to have your own reasons for doing so, and understand what makes you makes your brand your brand, and tracking those things that are important to your customers and what engagements are highly valuable to you, and reacting to those and making strategies based on that. So I think, yeah, generally, the more personalization you can keep on your store that isn't invasive, the better. Like I said, it's difficult to do, but there's a lot of tracking and scripts and things that you can do that still provide valuable information without you being invasive and without people becoming untrusting of your brand. Yep.
How do you guys see search differing for sites that are either single brand or multi-brand? How do they leverage it differently, and what's the effectiveness?
Yeah, good question. It really, really does depend on the brand. So we work with small brands, one singular D2C brands, up to like a multitude of brands. I think like one of the bigger organizations is probably the Pottery Barn Group, so Pottery Barn, West Elm, those type of people. It depends on what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to separate the brands individually and make them have their own standalone kind of engagements and stand alone as a brand, or want them to be part of a group of companies. There's been varying success depending on levels. We've seen people that have got multiple brands across their site. Fabletics is a good one. They actually differentiate Fabletics men to Fabletics women, but it's all through one site. There's some personalization, some segmentation tactics that they use to kind of understand originally kind of which way you're leaning towards, and then guide the search experience towards that. So again, it comes down to that understanding the engagements on the site. Whereas people like Pottery Barn and West Elm, while everybody knows they're the same group of company, they're very much standalone businesses. They manage the search differently. They don't want you going on to the other sites to search for other things. They don't want to mingle that type of stuff. So it's really, again, understanding what you want from your brand, what makes you different as a brand, and leveraging the search to do it that way.
Thanks.
Hey, Thomas, Jack Howard, nice to meet you. So in regards to your customers, one, I guess, how many do you guys currently support? And two, what percentage of them are pure play e-commerce businesses?
Sure. So we have well over 1,000 customers by now. Searchspring is purely e-commerce. I think Christina also said on Gorgeous' side, they only do e-commerce. There is search tools out there that will do like non-e-com. We are e-com, just e-com search. Everything is designed for e-commerce merchants. In terms of breakdown, it's probably 50-50 as to more traditional retailers that have brick and mortar stores but are very much leveraging e-commerce. I think the ones that do have brick and mortar that are customers of ours understand the importance of e-commerce and are very much that's the forefront of their focus, but they do have brick and mortar. But then we do have a lot of D2C brands, like very much pure play brands. Skims is probably the most recognizable by most. It's the most like modern digital native brand that you can think of. It's basically reliant on Kim Kardashian sending tweets and people buying clothes. It's a pretty good business model if you can do it. So that's really the breakdown of Searchspring in terms of our customer base.
Yeah, this is my ignorance here. So do you also work with like Shopify brands before selling on Shopify?
Yeah, Shopify is by far our biggest platform. We're an agnostic platform. We just only work with e-commerce. So whether it's BigCommerce, whether it's Adobe, whether it's custom sites, NetSuite, Shopify. Shopify is where we see the biggest need for it, because I think most Shopify merchants, if we're being honest, are a lot more D2C, a lot more brand focused and digitally native. And that's where we tend to see a bigger kind of crossover in terms of what people are looking to do with their brand. Okay. I think we're all up there. So thank you guys. If you want to ask any questions, I'll be over there.
One more time, a nice round of applause for Thomas Turley and our friends at Searchspring. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's event. You guys having a good time? We're going to do a little break right now.